Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Temptation Island coverage here on the Hot Dummies on Islands podcast feed. We are back, baby, to talk about episodes 6 through 10 of the latest season of Temptation Island on Netflix. I'm, of course, Kirsten and MacInnis, joined as always by the wonderful, the intelligent, the beautiful, the sensational Maggie Morgan. Maggie, how are you?
I'm great. What a sweet intro you gave me.
Well,
So lovely. I am gooped, gagged, befuddled by what we witnessed in the back half of this season. I am disgusted. I'm a lot of things, and I can't wait to get into all of it with you here. I mean, put me in, coach. I'm raring to go.
And this makes me so happy. I do need to say one thing up top because it's a failure of me as a Hot Dummies on Islands podcaster, truly.
Sure.
So I said in the first podcast, there's one person on this cast that I've talked about before on a Hot Dummies podcast, but that was not true. There were two. Because Mia, the beautiful tempter, was on F-Boy Island.
It's like these girls get on these C-level Hot Dummies shows. Like,
listen, and okay, her post when she went on to Temptation Island on Instagram, caption is, heard all good men are in relationships, so I'll just take yours. Can't wait for you to see my 2% screen time on this season of Temptation Island.
Mia, love yourself.
I think she does love herself, but I want her to want more for herself.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anywho,
listen, she's the dental student. She's busy.
Oh yeah, she said something about inside,
in
like
their mouths.
Yeah,
I can't wait to get in your mouths. Well, fortunately, ? I mean, it didn't get into any of these.
No, it is fortunately, not question mark.
Yeah, no.
I can actively say very fortunate that she did not end up in any of these men's mouths.
Quite literally dodged a bullet, so that's great for her. Okay, now we can get to the actual. I had to put the disclaimer up top because someone commented on the first pod and was like, "We know Mia," and I was like, "What?"
Okay, so what I have to say about overarching here, my first thought is Marco Wahlberg really, really went for it with the love to his contestants, pulling some of them aside, walking up to them at a bonfire. Like, he was really going full mark with these people. I'm so sad we didn't get a reunion. I need to know all of the tea that happened after. I'm desperate for it, in fact. And what we're getting on social media isn't quite enough. Like, we do at least have some semblance of an idea of what's going on, but I need to know more. And I'm sorry, I'm not sitting through 2 hours of a live Instagram from Grant. I'm not doing that. So
the idea that we would provide Grant with one crumb of social media engagement, absolutely not.
But yeah, I can't wait to get into it. I'm ready to go. Let's talk about these cheating couples.
These cheating couples. I will give my one overarching thought is that they did not have enough bonfires this season. There weren't enough. They took a big swing with the format because it was on streaming for the first time. And I just wish that there had been more bonfire. Like that, if they had kept, the format a little bit more traditional. Because I want to see the bonfires. Like, that is electric. So that's my one... That and the lack of a reunion, but I'm hoping that this season has been kind of popping off, that maybe they'll film one like now.
Yeah, because it's at least at the time of recording, it was number 5 on Netflix today. Maybe it'll move up.
Yeah, and we're just hitting the first weekend of the show being on Netflix. I feel like it's a great show to watch while you are absolutely rotting on a Sunday afternoon. So I think it'll pick up.
It's the easiest watch ever. It really, really is. It's such a hate watch, and it's honestly really fun.
I literally, yesterday before leaving work, begged my coworker. I said, please, just try one episode so we can talk about it. Like, just try one. It's okay. And then she messaged me last night. She's like, I've watched 3 episodes.
Yes.
Saying your boyfriend has bitch tendencies is crazy. I was like, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay.
It is.
Let's jump into these couples. I think that we should just start with Lino and Alexa because there's not very much there.
Sure. So Lino and Alexa, guess who predicted it in the very first episode?
Ding, ding, ding.
I saw their arc. I heard her say, I want to get married. And I heard him say, I don't know if I'm ready. And I said, well, looks like they're going to get married.
and engaged.
And so it ends with an engagement. Woo!
And good for them. Congratulations. It seemed like he didn't really get tempted. So I don't really know that if you're going through this with the guise of like testing your relationship, I don't know that he was tested that much. And I do think that if Alex had been more interested in him than Brione, that he maybe also would have cheated on his partner.
I don't know about that. I hope that's not true.
Listen, I didn't say I hope it's true. I said I think it's true.
Sure.
There were also lots of thirsty women at the men's retreat. So, like, if he really wanted to cheat, he would have cheated.
Yeah. Definitely. And so it started off with the videos, right? This is where we pick up. Well, it's sort of it starts off with like the cliffhanger of who's kissing in the women's bond, like in the women's villa,
in the Temptation Haven.
Yeah, the Temptation Haven. I was calling it the Temptation Tent last episode. But it was Ashley. We find out. Ashley went in there with Danny just to set it off, just to piss off Grant and freak all the boys out, which queen. Love. Yeah. And then after we moved through that episode, the real big story are the videos that they got from their significant others. And I do feel like Alexa and Lino's story kind of ended after they sent those videos. Like there was nothing really else to say, which I mean, the videos were really nice that they sent to each other. I actually wrote in my notes, I said, Lino's so happy. He's like almost sobbing. He's over the moon joyful about how happy he is about Alexa's video. And I feel like that just kind of carries them through the end of the season.
Yeah, they sent really loving messages to each other. They didn't do anything with any tempters. And then at the end, when it was time to like speak their pieces, they basically like Lino said everything Alexa needed to hear before she even said anything. They asked their questions, like they're on the same page. They feel really good. And then he leads her around the corner and there's this beautiful little proposal set up. And he makes again another really loving speech and proposes. She says yes. He also like video called her dad to get his blessing,
which was sweet.
If that's important to you, then it's very sweet. I have conflicted feelings about the process, but I end on the side of do what makes you and your partner happy, right? So I think that's something that would have been important to her. It was clearly important to him. They're engaged. They're happy by all accounts. I'm assuming they're either married by now or will be soon, but of course they don't post that much on social media.
Which is crazy that like they were on this show and they got engaged and they couldn't like tell people. Yeah.
Like this filmed in May of 2024 and they just released it now. So it's just that's wild to not
they're
be
probably
able to
like,
announce.
Dying to tell people, but there was something like in their video messages to each other when they got to send them. Alexis says in the message, like I thought it was so funny. She kind of filmed it as though she was like a hostage. Like she was holding the camera and she was really close to it. And she was like, Lino, you're like such a good guy. All the other guys are horrible. And I knew they were horrible. And I knew you were good. And you're being so good. Thank God. Like that was her big, like truly that was her energy.
It's like when like someone takes a picture with their iPad, but like below their chin.
Yes. She was like, all of these guys, she's like, I've watched all of these guys be horrible and unfaithful, and you've been so wonderful, and you're the amazing man that I know you are. And Lino's video, which Mark even said was very romantic. He said, I've come to understand that there's only one Alexa and there's only one Lino.
Yeah. There's only one.
Yep. There's only one. You said you had a hot take on him.
Oh, my hot take was that I think he would have cheated if Alex was interested. I already said it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there's no way to know.
There's literally no way to know, and it didn't happen, and thank goodness, because they seem like a very happy couple, and good for them.
Yeah.
We were literally doing the math and text messages because I was looking on Alexa's Instagram, and I was like, this says that this is when their 4th anniversary was, but based on the filming of the show, they wouldn't have been together 3.5 years yet. But then we figured out it was like 3 years and like 3 months, and who's putting that in a Chiron? So
yeah, 3 years, 3 months. I was also like, maybe they were official like a couple months after they started seeing each other. And so some people count like, how long have you been together versus how long have you been like dating, all that.
Yeah, I was really trying to be in my Nancy Drew bag, and it was like, there's literally no reason for this.
They are devoid of drama, as we say.
Period. Okay, who should we go to next?
I think next we should do Tyler and Taylor.
I agree completely. Look at us.
So Taylor, like, after she comes back from that bonfire, she's like, I'm single. She's flirting with Yemen. That's sort of what they're seeing. Taylor did not give Tyler a video message. Yes. And Tyler gave Taylor a video message where he said he missed her and wants the best for her. And he does love her, which straight to jail.
Okay, so like the last one that she had seen at this point was him being like, cuddling with Kay really rolls off the tongue, which I would like to argue that cuddling with Tay equally rolls off the tongue. Just for the record, and then
it was him kissing her. That was
the next one was like before the videos.
Yeah,
was him going into the Temptation Haven with Kay, and at the very least kissing her. And so no shit that she didn't send him a message. The fact I still love you,
and of course that makes her sob her eyes out. And I'm like, this is truly cruel of him to do.
And I think that the bonfire before the 30-second videos is where she says like, everyone always leaves me, and I totally get it because I would leave me too, which was one of the most heartbreaking sentences I've ever heard in my life. It even stuck with Mark L. Wahlberg, where the next day he's like, okay, first of all, we're bringing Case back because Taylor's been through enough. And
we need her to smile.
And also, like, Taylor, I need to talk to you because, like, that is a horrible thing to say about yourself, and it's really been sitting with me.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I am happy for Taylor the back half of the season. She has fun with this guy Yemen, and she likes him, and she's kissing him, and I think they maybe end up hooking up on the, final dates. I have to say, Kirsten, I have always hated the final date episodes of the Temptation Island series. Like, they are such a boring slog to get through. It's the same stuff. It's like some people being like, and we're just friends. And some people being like, and we love each other now. And that's all. Like, there's no drama really in it. It's like, okay, more of the same.
Even with like Grant and Natalie, it's like there was no drama, but it was also just like, maybe we'll see each other again. I don't know. Let's never talk about it.
Yeah, and we'll get to them. I've got stuff to say.
And we will get to them. But so Tyler just continues dating Kay. Their relationship is it seems to be really growing and getting deeper. And
I have to say something that I wrote down. When he was on that date with Kay and they're like covered in clay and like standing in the rocks, he says to her, and I quote, "Out with the old, in with the new." What? Are you kidding me? If a guy I was dating said that about his ex-girlfriend and me, I would be like, what's wrong with you? I would get the ick. And Kay started crying because she just felt so secure. What's happening, Kirsten? What's going on?
Well, I can't tell you what's going on, and I can't tell you what's wrong with Kay. But like Tyler needs professional help. So I'm so serious because the other thing too is it's like in episode 1 of the season, it's like, yeah, I quit my job and now I'm a model. It made it seem like I'm working as a model, making money as a model, only for us to find out that this man is jobless, completely jobless, and Taylor has been supporting him.
Yeah,
and he repays her by coming to Temptation Island and doing all this. And it's not even the first time this has happened in this series, because season 1 of the reboot in 2019, that jobless man left his ex of 7 years to then ghost the next woman who provided for him. Like, I do not think that we should be giving this much attention or any opportunities to these people that don't have jobs and don't want jobs.
Well, Kirsten, good news. On Instagram, Tyler has posted many times that he's not jobless anymore, that he is employed. He swears.
Okay, what's he doing? Is he on LinkedIn?
I don't know, but he posted a photo and it looked like a corporate office with like sweet green or something.
What's his?
It did look like a real job. But
yeah, but you can like rent an office space for an afternoon. He was probably in like a stock photo modeling job for an afternoon, and he's like, "Look, everyone, I'm in a suit and tie."
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, and maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but whatever. It's Temptation Island. Like, I looked up, like, is he from Utah? Like, because I was like, is there like some, I was like, there's something here. When you were like, he does need professional help, I was like, there's something here where there is like a struggle within him that I can't name. I was doing some investigative discovery work to try to figure out maybe if it was a religious thing, I don't know. I know he got married very young, and that was the reason that my mind kind of went there.
Yeah.
But
so
like,
is he?
No, I don't think so.
Wow.
That came up empty. But I was like, maybe it's, but we didn't get enough content from him for me to truly do my psychoanalysis as a trained professional, of
Naturally.
watching reality TV. But I like, there really is something in him. And I was really hard on Taylor episodes 2 through 5 about the way she spoke about him, which I still do agree it was nuts.
If you want to be with them for your life, yeah, you can't talk about them that way.
No.
If you have been financing someone for a year and they don't want to get a job, I'm less upset about it.
Sure. I think that in the back half of the season, we actually got to like see Taylor's real personality, because in the first half of the season, she was so angry and stressed out about her boyfriend, and it was draining the life from her. So we actually got to see her like be fun and lively and like goof around with Yaman and like be cute and sexy and like flirty. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's like come back to life. That's the same way I feel about Ashley. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this like shell of a girl came back to life because she's not dragging around this dead weight anymore.
She lost approximately 200 pounds, and she looks lighter for it.
Definitely.
And I feel like there are many examples in all of our lives of people where the breakup happens and it's like, oh my God.
The glow up is real.
Where did you go? Like, you're back.
Yeah. And so I do want to say, like, so the final bonfire clip that they got before their final bonfire was Tyler got to see, like, Taylor got to see Tyler making out with Kay on the date, and she was like, I literally don't care. I'm so numb. I'm done. And Tyler got to see Taylor making out with Yaman on her date. And Tyler had the nerve and the gall to be like, I'm jealous. After he said in a confessional he was falling in love with Kay.
He literally said out with the old, in with the new, to Kay's face. But that's the thing. He wants to have his cake and eat it too.
He doesn't know what he wants. He has no clue what he wants. And you know, bitch tendencies is a very cruel way to put it and way to say it. What I would say is that he can't stand strong in an opinion.
He's lacking a spine.
Yeah.
It seems.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the other thing too is I fear he may be one of those, well, I don't want you, but I also don't want anyone else to have you kind of vibe. So
I think he's just like lost. And that's why I was like, what's going on? Like what was happening before this? Like this marriage that you had when you were very young, and then you immediately got into a relationship with Taylor, who's a very strong personality, and you quit your job, and now you're like what's going on here, you know?
Yeah. Well, and then like it's things like where he'll see a comment of Taylor saying, "Oh, he doesn't put the toilet seat down," and then he fixates on that versus actually like getting to any of the core issues, which I think is that he can't face facts, and like maybe he's just in like a quarter life crisis situation. I also saw someone on the Temptation Island USA subreddit that said that they knew Tyler. They like went to high school with Tyler.
Okay.
And they said that the Tyler they knew was like not so much into his looks and was like a very creative, just like nice guy. And they mentioned like they didn't give any specifics, but they said that the like ending marriage then getting with Taylor thing was like maybe not as alarming as it might seem on the surface because of like issues in the marriage. But they didn't say what kind, but they basically were like, yeah,
they left us hanging.
They didn't give any details, which is I think fair and probably the same level of detail I would give if I was speaking on someone I went to high school with many years down the line. But they basically were like, there's like more to the story there, and like it was good that marriage ended, and it was like
okay. Well, then maybe the thing that I'm picking up on where there was like I was like, what is this thing? There's like a missing piece here that I'm trying to figure out that was not spoken about. I wonder if maybe it had something to do, not me Googling like where he lived to try to figure out his religious background.
You're like, I just watched that Ruby Frankie documentary, and I know Mormon trauma.
I literally, I was not. I was just like, okay, well, where is there a regionalism, or is there a region where you're from? Because look, baby, I'm Roman Catholic. I got a lot going on from that. So I'm like, are you from the Midwest? Are you from like where are you from?
Yeah.
So that maybe I can, but yeah.
And so he lives in Nashville. So I don't know if he's like from Nashville or what.
Well, I'm less concerned now with that, now that I know that there may be some underlying stuff with that marriage.
I think, there's more to the story, and there's a good chance that it's just like some sort of trauma that we have no idea about. And like, I again,
none of our business.
Feel for him, feel for everyone. Like, everyone has some kind of trauma. Don't care for the way he takes it being unhealed out on other people.
The way that him being unhealed means his girlfriend has to be humiliated on national television.
And I stand firm in my opinion that he's the reason why they came. There's no way this was Taylor's idea.
Totally agree.
A shot in hell.
1000% agree. He was definitely recruited via his modeling, whatever.
His modeling. They were like, hey, this guy hasn't had a job in a while, and he has a modeling headshot. Let's find out if he has a partner, and if not, he could be a tempter, maybe.
Oh man,
I don't know. Okay. Is there anything else about Taylor and Tyler?
Well, we should probably talk about their final bonfire, where where they talk and like
She came
basically
for him.
yell at each other. Yeah, they like had like a really angry final bonfire.
I loved when Taylor said, "You played me, and more importantly, you played yourself."
Yeah, because what's he gonna do if she was supporting him?
Well, and I feel like that's the kind of sentence where you like, I could see myself saying that in an argument and leaving being like, I ate him up. That was perfect. And then like you look back on it and you're like, wow. It's kind of embarrassing that I said
And
that.
he like they have this whole discussion where he's like, I do love you, like, you know, whatever. And then he's like, I am gonna leave with Kay. And they leave the island together. From all social media accounts, it does not look as though they are together.
Yeah.
So.
And obviously, who could have thought that? I do think it's interesting that none of these people have like really posted definitively about their relationships after the show has let. So I wonder if it's still embargoed.
Yeah, I wonder if they have to like wait a little bit so that people actually have time to watch the show, because technically it's been 2 days since the show has been out.
I also wonder if maybe there will be a reunion.
Ooh,
and
I don't know, because
allowed.
I don't know, because people were in Grant's comment section being like, are you and Natalie still together? And he was commenting being like, ask that question on my live tonight at 8 p.m.
Nobody's watching your live, Grant.
People are.
We don't.
People are. I need the TLDR in the Reddit. If you do that, you're doing God's work.
I will read the TLDR in the Reddit, but I can't. The Reddit is so anti. I don't know.
The Reddit is very anti all of the men, which, period. We support women's rights and wrongs here.
Literally. Yes. And I was saying this to Maggie before we started recording. I've never felt so at home in a Reddit community in my life.
Yeah.
Okay. They were just mad, and he left with Kay. And so I would like to motion that we do Brione and Shantae now so we can end the podcast on a good note.
Okay. I think that's good, because Grant and Ashley, actually, I feel like we got a nice bow on that story, you know?
Exactly. Okay. So last podcast, you were like, I don't know, I kind of like Brione. I think that maybe there's more than meets the eye, only to be immediately this is what happens when you try to think the best of a man. Okay, we don't give men the benefit of the doubt on this podcast anymore.
Who's that fat? I don't remember. I don't remember saying
those things.
I don't remember saying any of those things. That doesn't sound like me at all.
Listen, I was surprised when it happened, to be honest, but Brione comes in to episode 6 and he's like, well, if I had sex with one woman, that would have been cheating, because that's what I do with Shantae. But because I had a threesome, it's like not even cheating, because Shantae would never do that with me. Because
she can't provide that for me.
I saw a theory on the subreddit that this was actually Brione's first ever threesome, and he just like wanted one really bad, and that's why he talked about it so much. And then he had one and realized it's like not as good as he thought it would be. So now he's like, I don't need threesomes.
Oh my god, I hope that's true. That's humiliating. Which I loved. For him.
I should have written down the person, like the handle of the person who said it, but I fear I wouldn't be able to find it again if I tried right now. So
I love you. You are our people. Whoever said that, join the Feather Brain community.
If you're listening, we love you. So, which is just crazy. It's so crazy that anyone would like. It defies logic, right? Then we get the bonfire where Shantae sees the threesome footage. And she's numb. She's so upset. She's just numb. You can just see like the light left her eyes. She's like so upset.
Shantae's in denial this whole time. I think about everything. Like my overall thoughts on her, it's just my heart is broken for this girl. Like she's in denial at the very end, that final bonfire, like they talk afterwards together, and there's like a still of her and the light, like she's doing the 1,000-yard stare and the light has left her eyes. It's So sad to
It's
me.
so sad. She like after she sees the footage, she's literally like, "We talked about starting a family and having children, and what now? Our children are gonna see this." And I was like, "Okay, yes, wake up, please." But Brion is very much in his manipulation bag
Yeah.
because he says many times over this batch, like the last couple episodes of about his traumatic past and all the things he's been through, which sound horrible.
It truly does
It's
sound
it's
horrible.
horrible, and I hate that
Mhm.
that happened to him, comma, but that is not an acceptable excuse to treat a romantic partner like absolute garbage and like use that to make them stay.
And, like, he was so certain she was gonna forgive him. Like, he literally the girls were like, "Do you think she'll forgive you?" And he was like, "Yeah."
He
Like,
literally
he
said
was
she'd
so
never leave
sure,
me to one of the tempters.
which
And
is the
he
most I have to say this, ladies, if you are ever in a position where your partner confidently says, "She would never leave me," that is not a sign of how much you love him. That is a sign that there's a power imbalance there.
you're
Like,
in danger.
yes, like, that is something to be deeply concerned about. That's not something of like, "Oh, he just knows how much I love him, that I would never give up on him or us." No. That is a huge red flag. Huge red flag.
Yes. And so when it comes to video messages, he sends a message. He's like, "I am so ready to love you the way that you deserve to be loved. I realize now that a threesome is not what I needed. I'll never make you feel insufficient again. I love
Insufficient.
you."
Insufficient was the words oh my god, Kirsten, this is, like, so sad. This is
The
making
only
me wanna
thing
cry.
insufficient on this show, except for the men, is the balance in Tyler's bank account. Anyway,
Oh.
I'm a demon. And like he literally like he's so disrespectful to the point that one of the tempters literally is like, "I'm not going on a date with you because the way you're acting is unacceptable."
He's, like, trying to talk about Shantae and how he knows she'll forgive him, and she's, like, getting uncomfortable, and she's like, "I don't know," and he's like,
Yeah.
"You're weird. Why are you being so weird?" And,
Well,
like,
and
ugh.
he brings up like some of his trauma in that conversation as well a little bit, and you like
Mhm,
tempter's like, I'm not here for this type of
mhm.
conversation, like this isn't it. And he's like, "I'm trying to talk to you, that's literally what you're here for." Like he doesn't even see her as a human being in that moment. He's like, "You are hired to listen to me talk about my relationship issues and you have no agency in the matter. Thank you, goodbye." And she's just like, "No." And he literally is like, "People are weird." And I love, she goes, "What did you just say?" And he's like, "I said
She
people are
was good.
weird."
She was great. She was really great. And then you get, like, this sad clip of him, like, on his date alone getting ice cream and, like, sitting and thinking about he said in a confessional, like, "I'm really humbled right now about how, like, mad Shantae is." And what? I just don't understand, like, the world like, the reason I think last time that I was like, I think, like, clearly he knows who he is, and like maybe Shantae knows who he is too because of how
Mm-hmm.
confidently he's saying these things. And like I was like, oh, I assume that they've had conversations about this type of stuff. And then her reaction and how hurt she was and how like truly in denial and confused she was, I was like, oh, no, 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 no. There's been no discussion
Yeah.
about this at all. And like I
And
don't know.
so Shantae sees the clip of him getting turned down for the date and being told that he's
Mhm.
disrespectful. And she actually seems more upset by that than the threesome. I think
Yeah,
because it's like something you can actually digest.
well, and she was like, "Well, what else is going on in the house that he's, like, being disrespectful? Like, what else did he do that was so bad that she would turn down the date?" And it's like, "The threesome! The threesome!"
The threesome,
I
and
don't
he
even think
literally
that she
said,
I don't think that she believed it was a threesome, like, the whole time, until he says, like, "I had a threesome." I think that she still was like, "Yeah, I don't know what was going on in there, that was so weird," but,
"Yeah,
like,
the
he
door
probably
was
didn't do that.
closed."
I know.
Well, And like, to be fair, the editors of the show would definitely make something seem worse than it was.
Totally. But they were all naked in there.
But there's 3 naked in the bathroom. He said he likes to watch first. And we heard what happened in there. And I will personally never be the same again. So I can't imagine how Shantae feels.
Nor I, Kirsten, nor I. Ugh.
And so, and like Shantae still, and I think it was Ashley at one point says like, I'm so glad that Grant just like was scummy from the get-go, because otherwise I would have felt bad the whole time waiting for it. And Shantae's had to like sit there feeling bad for longer because it took a crumb of time for the threesome to happen.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, so eventually we get to the final bonfire. Like, it all leads to this. Brion's like, I'm a changed man. Like, he sleeps on the floor on his date, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
He didn't want to sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
His date made him. And he was like, are you serious? Do I have to? He did not want to.
And yeah. And they get to the bonfire, and Shantae looked drop dead gorgeous. Just have to say that. She never looked better.
Gorgeous.
We get there, and immediately Brion like melts into her arms and is like trying to kiss her and all of this stuff. And, you know, she comes in, I think, really ready to leave him. She does. She's like, she says, your actions have hurt me. You know, like, I don't think, I can't believe you didn't have regret. I don't know what else you've been doing. I don't think that there was any consideration at all. Like, it's just really, she is like, hello. He's like, I promise you, I'm a changed person. Like, people are saying like there's growth in me that have seen me. Like, I realized I never want to do something like that to you ever again. Like, he's pulling out all the stops. He's talking about the way he grew up, to the point where Shantae gets up. She's like, can I have a moment? And we see the PA that we assuming that she has a relationship with, because she runs into this PA's arms. The PA is holding her. She's like, I don't know what to do. Like, the PA is like, you just have to go with your heart. It's really dark. It's so dark.
It's so dark. And Brianna also keeps like, something he says consistently through the season to this point, as well as in his final speech and conversation with Shantae, is it only happened on Temptation Island. It would never happen in the real world. Girl, this is what he will do in front of a camera.
I know.
What do you think he would do if nobody would know? You're in danger.
I know. And so she comes back and like very shaky. She's like, I want to see the changes you've made. I believe you in the changes. Like, I do think, though, I need to leave the island alone. Like, I'm open to see what happens after, but like, I want to leave the island alone. And immediately he starts in, and he's like, no, like, please. He's begging her, basically. He says he like has to accept that, but like he wants to prove to her how much better he is.
He's like, I have to accept it, but here's all the reasons why I'm not accepting that. He goes straight into manipulator mode in a really, really dark way.
It's scary. It's kind of scary. And then she caves. She folds. And
which I don't think should be allowed. I think Markel Wahlberg should have been like, Shantae, you said you want to leave alone, so please proceed to the car by yourself. I need a moment alone with Brion to like whip him into shape. Goodbye.
Yeah, and so she's like, I'm going to leave with him. Brion like basically jumps up as though he's won the Heisman Trophy. You know,
because
like
he has. He
won the game. Yep. Well, she is so much better. That he doesn't even deserve to be in her presence.
And she is a much better person than I am, because the way that she held herself with composure and compassion and care and empathy through the whole process of this show, should be studied. I just want to say, for anybody watching, I think that sometimes when you are
a kind, empathetic person, and that's what you derive a lot of your confidence on. This is me. I'm like talking about
Mhm.
myself. I derive a lot of my confidence on the fact that I'm a good friend, that I'm kind, that I am empathetic, that I'm very forgiving. I think that that puts you sometimes in a place where you have an opportunity to be forgiving and you feel like you should take it because you feel like that's the person that you are. However, there are certain situations where you can forgive, but you can lovingly detach, as my wonderful therapist calls it, lovingly detach, because there are some situations where forgiveness is actually for being forgiving and kind and moving past something is actually not the best thing for you. Even though that's a great quality to have, that doesn't mean that it is always the best thing for you. And I think that in this specific situation, I watched Shantae have the same thought process that sometimes I have had in my past relationships, and she stayed when she absolutely should not have.
Yeah, you can't really say it much better than that. I do just want to speak directly to the portion of the fan base that is being really kind of mean to Shantae.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of like stand up, come
Mm-hmm.
on, what are you doing? And it's like I feel nothing but just sadness
Yeah.
for Shantae that she felt that this is what she had to do and that
Yep.
she was in like the web of someone like Brielle. Because the thing is it's like she's been dating him for a year. We now see how he operates when someone disagrees with him or he's told what he doesn't want to hear. And that type of influence can be really damaging over time. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that surprised that after a year of putting up with that, it this is how it came to the ultimate conclusion. From social media, she does still follow his account and his business account on Instagram, but they haven't posted anything together, and I'm hopeful that they're no longer together because Brione is crashing out on Instagram currently.
I think they are together, and that's why he's crashing out. I think that he.
No.
This is my theory. You know, I don't know that this is true, but my theory is that they're together. They've worked past this, worked through this. He's convinced her what he did was not that bad. And now everybody's like, what? This is horrible, and giving their opinions. And she's seeing that. And that's why he's crashing out.
I could see that as well. I just to be able to sleep at night have to
Mm-hmm.
imagine that they're no longer together. But he is like he posted a story literally today of like meet the editors of Temptation Island, and it's like, my guy,
How do
you
you
literally
edit?
did all of this.
Yeah, how do you edit a threesome? I don't, that's all I gotta say.
And it's that shit had to have been out in the open in the bathroom, or we would have gotten the camera from the bathroom and like see like heard it closer like in the shower or whatever. Like that was
Uh-huh.
out in the open and they could not show it because it would have been like pornography.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel in my heart. And when I get like things can be edited on reality TV in ways
Mm-hmm.
that they did not really happen.
Mm-hmm.
100%. We've heard many stories of it over the years of things like that happening on TV, and I know how Frankenbites can be used, etc.
Mm-hmm.
When you see Brown talking, you will see his mouth moving. You see his lips forming those words. They are
Mm-hmm.
not Frankenbited. He said all of that, and they can't get you with behavior like that if you don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, I, I wish him the day he deserves. You know.
I just am thinking of Shantae, and I just don't want anybody in a situation like that thinking that the right thing to do is forgive someone, when the right thing to do is always to be true to yourself and what you deserve.
Yeah, protect
Mhm.
yourself. They
Yep.
literally say, you know, on the airplane you have to put your own mask on first, and that is
Mhm.
true in life as
Mhm.
well.
Yep.
Not in a selfish way, but in a
Nope.
protect yourself and your heart way.
Yep.
Um She has an email on her Instagram. Should I just email her and be like, "Can you please confirm your
No,
relationship
Kirsten,
status with
this is
Brielle?"
what I'm saying. We literally, you're like, don't harass her. You're like, can I email her and
I'm
ask?
not gonna harass her. I just ask one question one time in a very kind way,
Sure, sure.
and then I would never message again. Like what? I'm not gonna send threats.
We have a public forum here. We are putting this out into the internet for people to view. Shantae, are
Yeah,
you
you're
still
right.
with Brione? Please say
Please
no.
Please
Please say no. But,
But just regardless of what's going on,
yeah.
I hope that she's okay. I hope that watching that this season coming out hasn't been too triggering for her. Wishing her all the best.
Yes. This was one of the
Yeah,
sadder
we couldn't
couples.
end it on this one.
Totally. And this was one of the sadder couples that I've maybe ever seen on Temptation Island.
This is Brion's behavior is definitely in the bottom tier of behavior from men on these shows, and just like the fact that he gets away with it also really
it's quite horrid. Anyways, we should definitely talk about Ashley and Grant, because I think that they actually had the most successful time on Temptation Island this season. If I do say so, that like, if I can say that, I'm gonna say it.
Alex and Lino literally got engaged, but Grant and Ashley had a more successful.
Yes.
I love you. Okay, so of course, episode 6 starts. We find out it was Ashley who went into the Temptation Haven. But she didn't even do anything. She just went in to make Grant upset, which is truly so iconic.
Great. And Grant is like, I literally have a note here in my notes that says, Grant is a delusional king. He's like, if she can change, I would marry her. He says that after he's already had sex with Natalie like 4 times.
My theory on Grant is that I don't know why, but this man does not possess object permanence, right? So like when Natalie is in front of him, he is like falling for her. He wants to hook up with her, all of that. When she's not there, she doesn't exist to him. Nothing they've done has happened in his memory, and he can think about Ashley. Or like just say, hey, I still want to be with Ashley if she changes. When Ashley's in front of him, he's like, I forgive you. Like, I can be there for you. Like, it's just, they live in just 2 separate spaces in his brain because he can't comprehend both of them at the same time because he does not have that ability. Like, I know that this sounds like it's like a joke, but I'm so serious.
Honestly, like, I stand by what I said last time. Grant is your run-of-the-mill fuckboy, your run-of-the-mill asshole. Like, there's a million Grants running around. And thank God there's not a million Briones running around. Like, the Brione of it all is, like, dark and a little spooky. But, like, sure. But, like, the Grant of it all is, like, yeah, there's so many of these guys. Like, this is just so... Ashley actually posted on her Instagram story today, reposted a story from her best friend that was like, when the world is able to see everything you've been saying for years and you feel so validated. And she was like, literally, me and all my friends were gaslit. And I was like, oh my gosh, everybody was in the trenches with this loser. This fucking loser.
He's a special guy. He's a very special guy.
Such a loser.
So he goes into the Temptation Haven with Natalie to do, I presume, full penetration, even though he already said he regretted having sex with her before.
Yeah.
And the light goes on. This is like during party time. It's not even bedtime. It's like everyone is out and about. And oh wait, no, this is a different time.
No, this is But then what?
But no, what I was thinking of though was when Ashley goes back in with Danny, and then it's like party time and the light goes off. So like Grant immediately picks up Natalie after
That's what it is.
Encouraged by Brione, and goes in for revenge. And so it's like then the light goes on at the women's villa second, and everyone at the women's villa immediately is like, that was done for revenge. That's so disgusting. Like, horrified.
I mean, yeah. And the bonfire clip that like happened after that was Danny and Ashley flirting and like going to kiss. And Grant, like he crashes out. He's like speechless. He's like, you know, and now I don't feel badly about exploring my connection. And this to me, I what I can't understand is Grant doing all the things he's doing and then being so shocked by the consequences of his own actions. Like and genuinely shocked. Not like, oh, I can't you know what I mean? Like I'm like, are
Yeah.
you stupid? I
Yes.
don't and because his clip that Ashley saw was him saying he's mad about everything that she thinks about him, but like if she can fix herself, like he'll be with her. And literally the girls laugh. Like they all
Yeah.
start laughing and they're like, is he for real? And Ashley's like, he's for real.
And here's the thing. If Grant had been shown a clip of Ashley being like, if Grant can fix all of the things that are wrong with him, I would still marry him, he would again act like he had been shot with a gun.
Yeah. 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 Oh my god.
Overall, the men in every single bonfire saw very tame videos. There was not a lot of action happening at the women's villa.
No.
And the things that were shown were very, very mild. And every single time, the men are like 100 out of 10 offended by what they've seen. And it's like, your partner just saw you having, like, fully breaking the rules that you had agreed to when you came in here. And you are seeing a statement of fact. So, like, if looking in the mirror is this difficult for you, then maybe you should make some changes.
Yeah, and Ashley doesn't send Grant a video, and the award-winning performance he puts on, he falls to the ground. He's huffing and puffing. He's like, you know, I'm a good man. I forgive myself. He's such a loser.
Yeah, that's the key. It's only good men that forgive themselves. Obviously, that's a common trait of good men.
Oh my God, he's just such a loser.
He sends her a message being like, I love you. I want to be with you. My brother in Christ. You literally just slept with somebody else. Hello? Like,
I'm honestly speechless by it. He doesn't make sense to me.
He makes absolutely no sense. And so, but then he also like uses that he didn't get a message to just continue being trash. He's like, well, I didn't even get a message. Like, okay, like, why would she talk to you? Why would she say any word to you?
Even all of the guys are like, well, obviously, like you're literally saying you want to leave the island with this girl and you ask her if she wanted to meet your daughter. Like, why would Ashley want to be with you? Kirsten.
In my brain, kept forgetting that Grant had a daughter, only to be reminded by him constantly bringing her up. And I just feel so badly for Grant's daughter and Grant's daughter's mother for having to see this. Like, I'm sure that he's like a good, like, I don't know anything about his relationship with his daughter.
Yeah, I would not want to say that.
When she's old enough to understand like like how he talked about Ashley with regards to her and how he seems to use her as a bargaining chip, like I think that there's going to be conversations that have to be had when like if this is how he always talks about his daughter. I don't know. Like I'm not trying to speak on him as a father because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But like for like the mother of his child to see him using the child as a bargaining chip is crazy.
You know, I would say less the bargaining chip. I'm not going to give him that much credit. I don't think that he is that like manipulative. I think he's just like such an idiot that he's like, I like this girl. In order to be in a relationship with her, she's gonna have to meet my daughter. So I should know. I just want to like, you know what I mean? He's like,
which is totally fair. And I don't think like I don't want to say. I don't think he does like is manipulative on purpose in that way, but I think that you can manipulate people without meaning to.
Totally. I just think that he is stupid and gets into things too quickly and has no boundaries and doesn't understand the importance of something like that. And it's just like, oh, I like her, so like would she want to meet my daughter because she's a huge part of my life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. And I want to be very clear. I wasn't like trying to speak on how he is a
Definitely.
dad because I have
Of course.
literally no concept of that.
Of course.
I the way he talks about his daughter is crazy. But again, I don't live in that world. I don't really know. So I don't know.
Should we talk? The only real other like thing of note before the final bonfire is he reacts to the bonfire clip of Ashley in bed with Danny, and he's like, I mean, it hurts. It really hurts to see that. And you're just like, dude, get over yourself. I honestly, the thing about it that just kept pissing me off is he was such a sad sack. He felt so sorry for himself. He was like, my pain the whole time. And I was like, dude, you are the pain. You are the pain.
After seeing something so horrifying, he probably just like really had to go be in the hot tub with a beautiful woman for a couple of hours, He just needed that so badly. That's the thing too, where it's like he spent the whole season acting like Ashley was horrible. Was Ashley nice about him? No, but like she wasn't as mean as Taylor was about Tyler.
No.
And although she did call him a piece of shit, which really stuck with him.
And she admitted and was like, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. And if you compare like their actions in the villa, I feel she did not reach the level of what he did, but he spent the whole time talking like he's a victim and she's so horrible. Meanwhile, he is doing the same and worse of what she's doing and thinks that that's totally fine because he's forgiven himself. And so it's just like, to me, it's very much giving, like, it's like the worst person is also in therapy being told like it's okay to be a little selfish sometimes.
I think
it's like that vibe. Is how
I think it's just giving throwback to Big Brother 19. It's just giving victim noises. Like, I'm just like, dude, what? Do you hear yourself?
Yeah, it's so bizarre. And the other thing is Ashley had her conversation with both of the little 22-year-olds and about how she like likes both of them so much. And I was like really hoping that she would leave as like a polyamorous queen with both of them.
I am sad that we only got to see one threesome this season because I thought that would have been quite a fun arc for her.
Can you imagine
the crash
Grant's
out
response to that? That's it's fine. It's fine.
I have to say, their final bonfire, I thought it was going to be like horrifically explosive.
Yes.
But I actually was like, that was kind of nice. Like they both sat down. Well, they both like yelled at each other basically at the beginning. And then Grant was like, Ashley, when I got here, I was like, why are we even dating? And Ashley was like, I thought the exact same thing. And they had this kind of like nice moment of bonding, of being like, we both agree.
Realized like we should not be together.
Yeah, we both agree we shouldn't be together. And we both agree that like that's kind of on each of us, like I thought that Ashley did Ashley just is awesome. She's one of my favorite Temptation Island contestants ever, honestly, because I also felt like she took responsibility for her part in this in a really great way.
Yes.
Like I feel like a lot of the times we see these guys, and this is just the Temptation Island trope, that the guys usually are the ones being shitty to their girlfriends. These guys being shitty to their girlfriends, and the girlfriends are unwilling to talk about where they may have gone wrong in the relationship, either allowing this behavior to happen, them pushing them to the point where maybe they got resentful, etc. And I don't know that always happens.
It's also like a lot of the time on Temptation Island, we end up seeing men who like straightforwardly use abuse tactics, and then it's like, that's just a different dynamic.
Totally. I'm not talking
Grant,
about
and
that.
And so like Grant and Ashley just had a toxic pattern that they were both in, and they both were able to see that they were in it, and take
Totally.
responsibility for their parts in that. And I love, though, he's like, I forgive myself and I forgive you. And she's like, you're a serial cheater. I don't know what you're forgiving me for. I didn't do anything wrong.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't like this beautiful, like, oh, we love each other, but we just can't be together and it's for the best. Like, they were still kind of like at each other's throats, but also they were able to be like, it really was this moment where I felt like they kind of laughed together when he was like, why were we together? And she was like, I literally thought the same thing. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? And I was like, yes, what are we doing here? You two should separate. Enjoy your lives. And
Yes.
although he did act again as though she shot him with a gun when she was like, I'm leaving the island with Danny. He was like, oh.
I liked when she was like, I felt relieved when you cheated so that I could just be done. Because I cannot believe I held on to you for so long.
Yeah.
And he leaves alone, so we do not see a like proper goodbye with Natalie at all.
I'm sure he was like, he said, I want to leave alone. And then she said, I want to leave with Danny. And I'm sure he was like, I should have said I wanted to leave with Natalie. You know, like he's totally that kind of guy.
Yeah, I could totally see that. And so she leaves with Danny and she says, you know, like, I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm not ready to say goodbye yet. So let's go. I think this was perhaps one more piece of petty revenge.
Yeah, of course. Which is why I was like, I love you, Ashley, because you are petty.
And they are getting ready to leave together. They have their little conversation. And Mark L. Wahlberg says, you know, there's parts of this job that I like. There's parts of this job that I don't like. And I like this part. I'm like, you like this woman leaving with a 22-year-old out of spite? What are you talking about?
Hey, I liked it.
I liked it, but not enough to say it like to their face in a weird Mark L. Wahlberg therapy moment.
It's his way, you know, it's his way. But you guys will all be really happy to know that Grant is loving the attention that he's getting from being on Temptation Island. Surprise, surprise. He's reposting all of the he's getting propositioned by women in his DMs. So he's posting all of that, being like, oh my gosh, like all these women are saying they want to have sex with me. Oh, like, okay, Grant.
Probably people that he is paying to message him on Instagram.
Bots. Literal bots.
It's literally like a Russian bot that's like, I want sex with you.
Yeah. Yeah, so don't worry guys, Grant's doing his Grant thing on IG. You can find him, he's exactly the same.
Someone messaged him, I hope you get ran over, and he reposted it to his story. I love you too, but like, don't amplify that.
Yeah, whoa. Look, and this is the thing, Brion is crashing out and he's like, no, like Grant is loving the attention. And I do think that that is the difference between those two men and whatever issues they have.
And like Grant is definitely getting hate, but I don't think it's to the extent of what Brion is getting either, for a variety of reasons.
Well, it's because he got his comeuppance on the show, right? Because I think people don't feel as though they need to punish him because he lost his girlfriend. So they're like, yeah, you got what you deserved. I don't need to waste my time, versus Brion, where you're like, you did what you wanted and you didn't get what you deserve. So I have to take it upon myself to be like, fuck you.
Yeah. And Grant like never seemed charming, right? So like Brion had like a moment of like, oh, do we like this guy?
Yes. I literally was on the last episode being like, I have softness for him. I have a fondness. No longer, Brion. I do hope things in his life are getting better, and I hope that he finds healing. I do.
I hope that he's healing and working on himself and getting what he needs as well. Like, I don't wish ill on him. Like, he's a human being, but I wish for him to not be in Shantae's life anymore.
Yeah, I would totally say that is true.
Yeah, it's like the thing where people be like, and I know that, like, obviously we're just a podcast. Nobody's getting, like, quote, canceled, as if cancel was a real thing. But people be like, cancel culture is so horrible. Like, people need to work. And it's like, no, but, like, maybe someone doesn't need to work in a space with so much, like, public attention. Like, they can still have a job, but maybe they don't need to be in the public eye. I'm like, Brion I hope he finds, like, love and has a beautiful life. But I don't think that should be with Shantae.
Yes, agreed. And that was season 6 of
Season 6 of the new Temptation Island.
Yeah. So what are your overarching thoughts, Kirsten?
I'm so excited that it's on Netflix and so
Me
many more
too.
people are being exposed to Temptation Island because we have so much fun watching it. I wish that they would keep the episode integrity like a little bit more how it used to be, because I think more bonfires does make for a more entertaining show. I feel like we saw a very high ratio of dates to bonfires, and I think that the bonfires are always more entertaining.
Well, yeah, because you get to see everybody crash out.
Yeah.
At the bonfires and after.
Like, I don't care to see people playing pickleball or going
Yeah.
bowling. Also, why did the men with their singles get to go to so many activities and the women just got to drink on the lawn? Like, that honestly was sexist.
Drink on the lawn and like do art. There was like a lot of art that they did. Like they did a lot of painting and clay and like things like that. Yeah.
I like pickleball's fun. The women could have gone and played pickleball. Like,
well, the women, the temptresses did.
The temptresses got to. So I don't know. But other than that, I wish there was a reunion.
Yeah, me too. That's my real only gripe is I wish there was a reunion.
And I wish that we would know for sure that we're getting another season and when it will come, because this is the problem. The problem with, like, Netflix has a benefit of a lot more reach and more people watching and possibly more people wanting to listen to us yap about it. But it also has the downside of, when will it come back? Will it come back? Will they film it and then keep it in the can for 3 years? Like, I don't know. I do believe that there's 1 to 2 people from this season that will be on Perfect Match. Coming out
really? Oh my gosh, who? Do you know?
I don't know who. It was when the cast was released, it was like just like a question mark, like Love is Blind season 8 person, Temptation Island season 6 person.
Oh,
so
whoa.
This is not the last we've seen of everybody from the show.
Do you think they would pull a tempter?
I think it's likely to be a tempter, and likely to be a tempter that played a bit of a role.
Somebody like Yemen, I think would be really fun.
I could see Yemen making his 3rd dating show appearance. Iconic. It could also be I think Amira.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the one, her name. The one who like gave Brione the talking to, I think could be a really good option.
Even like Natalie.
Natalie could be a good option. Danny could be a fun option. Like the age on Perfect Match is kind of all over the place, because there's like really young people from like Too Hot to Handle, and then kind of older, more established people from Love is Blind.
Sure.
I also think Perfect Match this year is allegedly going to have people from Bachelor Nation for the first time ever. So it's a really big crossover event.
Wow.
So we'll see.
That's exciting. Am I gonna have to watch Perfect Match?
You should have been watching it anyway. And there have been literally no discussions behind the scenes at RHAP, but I'm assuming that me, Jason, and Asia will cover it again.
Yeah.
I hope. Oh my God.
Well, okay. I hope if there is a reunion, if we find out that there's a reunion, I hope that you guys will come and join us again to yap about that. Because we will be back with a vengeance if we get to hear from these people. And yeah, Kirsten, where can people find you if they want to hear more about what you're up to?
Yes, so you can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What, including twitch.tv/Kirsten Said What. And you can listen to me yap about pop culture, celebrity gossip, trending topics over on Mess Magnets. We had a really fun episode this week. We talked about a crazy murder for hire plot on Mess Magnets this week.
Ooh, I haven't listened yet.
So check that out. And as well, obviously, you're here. Hot Dummies on Islands. Leave a 5-star rating and review, please.
Please.
And Maggie, what about you?
Yeah, people can find me everywhere on Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram at MLMorgan_. I think on Blue Sky I don't have the underscore. But yep, you can find me there, see what I'm up to. I recorded a BB retrospective last night with Taryn Armstrong talking about BB11. So that is on our RHAP Instagram. And I'm around, there's no Big Brother Canada this year. So we're a little a little low on content there, but I'm around. I'll be back for Big Brother this summer. Hit me up. Let me know of other fun things that I should be watching. I'm watching The Amazing Race. I'm watching Survivor, all the good stuff. So, yeah.
Amazing. And yeah, so if there's a reunion, which I doubt, but I hope that
I
there
hope
is,
to.
we will be back to cover that. But if
Mhm.
not, then the Hot Dummies on Island Speed is going to go back into hibernation for a little longer. And hopefully there will be some more Hot Dummies on Island soon so we can come back to chat to y'all about it again. 5-star ratings and reviews mean a lot to us. We really appreciate them. And thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.